Hey, it's Linslow here. Thanks for stopping by the channel and building with us today. I'm happy about this one because it's the first time I've built on this lot, and it's for roommates, but they are complete opposites and they have a stunning common area. So I'm so excited to share this with you, and I'm ready to get into this. So grab everything you need to sit down and let's get into the specifics of this build, but also my thought process while I was building this. So this apartment actually has 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a half bath on the first level. I love the way this turns out. So when you walk into this apartment, you are greeted by a lovely entryway with bookcases. You have a living space, a desk space, and then a little patio area. Then we keep going towards the back of the apartment, and you have this spacious kitchen that I'm working on right now. I end up staying with this brown and white color scheme, but I end up adding a washer and dryer there, and then a full dining space. And I love it because it's a lot of table, a lot of chairs, and it's like they have a lot of people over. They're very friendly and they have their friends over, family over, a lot. And so I wanted to have a lot of space for that. And then we have a amazing upstairs, and that's where we have the 2 bedrooms, the 2 baths. And I think this set of roommates would really love this apartment more because they get their own bathroom. I don't know what it is, but being able to have your own bathroom seems like it would be a deal maker for me. Like, I wouldn't have to hear anything else. I'm like, I get my own bathroom, I get my own bedroom, and I love this apartment more because the bedrooms in this apartment is large. Like, they're very large, and I feel like it's spacious and it gives the Sims their space to be able to create whatever they want. And so I end up working on the first level first, and I end up going with a color scheme that is gravitating more green or sage and tans. So I wanted to have this little book nook here, and it's like this little ottoman that I placed there, and then I end up adding another ottoman on top of it. And then I love that lamp. I use it all the time. I wish I could stop using it, but I really just can't. And around this time I actually bought the book kit. I can't remember the name of it, but I bought that kit, and so I used a lot of things from it. And so I wanted to utilize as much as I could and put it in this apartment. And so I feel like I definitely achieved that, but I want to make sure that I definitely kept the theme of it. And so when I was putting down this desk space right now, I didn't have an idea of who the roommates were at the time, and so I was really trying to just make it so that it fit within the color scheme of the space itself, not really tailored to a roommate. But then I end up figuring out who's desk that is, so I do end up changing that to be a little bit darker. And surprisingly enough, I just found out that this is the book nook kit. It's crazy because I actually just said that, so I ended up using that. And then this is the little half bath, and I did want this to be like, it's a little bit on the upgraded side. It's not completely upgraded, but it's definitely not dated, especially when we look in this kitchen, because those cabinets are screaming Dream Home Decorator, mostly because I got it from the Dream Home Decorator pack, so I had to use those, and those are very modern. So I wanted this apartment to be a little bit on the modern side, but not like ultra modern, not overly upgraded. So the bathroom is on, it doesn't look overly dated. Let's just say that. But I definitely enjoyed being able to put those intricacies in this build, because being able to find a space that is very neutral, and then going to all of the different bedrooms, or the 2 different bedrooms in this space, and finding something completely different that didn't really match this, was definitely a challenge. But I took it on, and I feel like I definitely succeeded, and I had so much fun doing this. The hardest part of this build was definitely the dining space, because I didn't want it to look like it was overly designed, mostly because I felt like these roommates are like fresh new roommates. So this is their first apartment maybe, or this is their second apartment. And so they didn't have that much to put into it. This was probably a lot of furniture that was left off from the previous roommates. And so I didn't put a lot of decorations in here, but also I wanted it to be very functional, because if I put a lot of decorations in here, a lot of Sims wouldn't have been able to sit down at the table and everything. But it's like, the dining room was always more of a difficult space to design, because you have to have the table, you have to make sure that people are able to sit in it, but then it's like, what do I put on the walls? What do I put everywhere else? And so figuring that out was a challenge, but I love the way it ends up looking up in the end. So this first bathroom that you see that I'm decorating is actually for the bathroom that's attached to one of the roommates' rooms. This is the one that is not attached to one of the roommates' rooms, and that one actually has just a shower, but the other one has a shower tub combo. I was very sure to add a few things of decorations in here because they had a little bit more cabinet space than the other one, and I love this one. I made sure to make it follow the scheme of the roommates. So that one, we have that orange, rug. We have a lighter robe in there, and so it is on the colorful side. I mean, we couldn't add a lot, but that is what I was going for. And then I work on those bathrooms and I go right back down, and I'm like, I have to do the patio, I have to add some more decorations and the kitchen. And so I go into tackling that, and I really wish that there was a way of making the patio the same as all the other patios in the apartment that you can see, but you really can't. And it's like really eyeballing that. You can do the wallpaper because they use the wallpaper that comes with the pack, but that flooring was definitely difficult to find, so I had to figure that out. And then I go right into decorating this kitchen. I wanted to use this from Eco Lifestyle because I don't think I've used it that much. I used it a few times, but not in some places that I would have loved to use it. So I was like, I can definitely try to use that this time, but I felt like the design of this and then the design of the kitchen was a little bit off, so I end up changing that out and using those things that we got with one of the kits. And so I end up adding some nectar bottles there. We have some glasses. I end up putting that snack thing there, but I end up changing that to be on the counter at a later time. And I really love this. It's like, I love open shelving. It's really unnecessary to have the shelf here, but I felt like I needed something to add there, and then just to have some exposed things going on. We have some exposed parts within this kitchen, that are built into the cabinets and everything, but it's different. I don't know how to explain it. It's definitely different. I wanted to see a little bit more that was going on, and it allowed me to add a few more things of decoration that wasn't like you have to go to like a furniture store. It was really just like you can grab some things and like, oh, I found a shelf, put it up. And so that's exactly what I did there. And I add some more decorations here. I wanted to have some exposed things like some pots, and I end up adding some of those peppers. I don't really know what peppers they are, but I needed to add it, and I always use those, so I had to use them there. And just having them right underneath that cabinet next to the stovetop felt like a perfect place. In the end, I really feel like I love the decoration style of this kitchen. You can see it right now, like that is the gist of it, but like I said, I end up adding a washer and dryer. I end up adding a few more things to make it look a little bit more dynamic in there. So I end up doing that, and I don't know, I really like this book nook kit. I didn't think that I'd like it that much, and that's why I was holding out on using it that much, but once I got it and I started seeing these items, I was like, hold on, these are kind of good. And so I end up using those. But then we're going into the roommate's first room. So this is roommate number 1. And I love this bed. I haven't really used much of the things that came with this kit, but I wanted to use it. This is very fun. It's very colorful. And I loved using that wallpaper, or, that paint, I guess. I think it's a wallpaper. But I definitely wanted to use that against that brick because that's something that we can see is like just a part of the building. And so adding some contrast there, I felt like was a really great move. So I end up using that. But the colors in here are blue, yellow, orange, and green. And then I have pops of pink here. I end up really wanting to use that mirror that we have there, but I end up changing that out to be a shelving item, and it goes with the pack or with this kit that we got, and I love it. I don't know, this is like just a really fun room, and it is definitely tailored to, you know, a more colorful, outgoing sim who really just wants to play with the bounds of what decorations means and, you know, their space. And so here they just have no bounds, they have no limitations or anything, and they're like, I want everything. And that's really what I end up going for. And this is where I put in that shelf. I end up wanting to have a desk in here, and so I end up using a shelf, like just a plain shelf, and putting, you know, the computer that we get on top of a counter and sizing down the counter. So that's one thing that I end up doing here. I had a little bit of difficulty over on the side where you see the paintings. I wanted to add a few more things there, but I just wasn't sure what. And I end up figuring out towards the end. I end up going back and forth once I start on the other bedroom. But once I'm in there, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So that is the thought process when I was building this room. But that is really the gist of this one. And then we move into the other one, and that one is more on the dark side of things. Like, it's not very colorful. There are colors in there, but I don't think it's as loud and everything. It's really more so on like a neutral wood tone. Like, I feel like that person's a little bit more on the calmer side. They don't want to have a bunch of color everywhere. They are definitely like a cluttered kind of person. I feel like they would be more so one of the readers in this apartment. And I thought about, you know, adding some books in here, but I was like, I don't know. I feel like they would really just want more color than anything. So I added a few more of those chairs. I end up adding a fishbowl in here, and I really love this room, but I can't wait to get started on the other one so you can really get a sense of how different these roommates are and how they work well together. So as I was creating the other room, I was just placing things in here, and so that is the result of having some things in here already. And I definitely wanted to use the bubble blower machines. I don't know why I felt like I needed to use those a little bit more in my build. They take up a lot of space, but I wanted to use that big plant. But instead of having a traditional dresser, at first I wanted to use these where they can hang things up, and then I figured, I mean, they could at least have like a little thing. So I add this one from Tiny Living and then some decorations on top of there. And I really feel like this is like the opposing roommate. Like, they are like, I am cool with whatever, like do whatever. And I feel like it is like meeting in the middle when you see the different rooms as opposed to the living space, because it's like a nice and happy medium. You know, we got a lot of lighter things down in the living space, but it's also a little bit calmer. So they toned down a lot of the colors used, but it's still lighter. And I feel like it's a happy medium, definitely a happy medium. So I really love that one. But you can see here, I'm adding some decorations up on this bed ledge. And it was like, I could just add a few more things here because I didn't really see a lot of space for me to add decorations and things. And so when I was able to find some, I was like, I have to put them there. And that's exactly what I did. And with this roommate being a writer, I felt like I needed to add things in this space that really help them calm down or get them into the mood to write books. And so I added the incense there. They have a little notepad. They have like, you know, that little patch of blankets and things that we got from Eco Lifestyle. And then I had this little chalkboard there, and I felt like they could just write whatever they want. Whenever inspiration sparks in the middle of the night, they have a chalkboard there and they could just scribble it down and lay back down. I don't know if that's actually something that people do, but I felt like with this kind of roommate, I wanted to at least have that there, and it spoke to me, so I wanted to add that. And I feel like this room just has a whole aesthetic to it that is unique to being a writer. With adding those pictures that we get from Get Famous into this room, I felt like the kind of writer this sim was definitely more so on the screenplay side, or they could definitely just be like a director or something, or they could just be a writer and they love movies and that's why they have those there. I don't know, but I feel like that kind of writer would be loving that room. And I needed to add a few more decorations in here, really finalize some things, and that's when I go in and add the fishbowl and add a few more things of decorations here. And I love the way this turns out. It's just so fun, honestly. And I kind of feel like both of them are kind of fun though. So I end up going out to the hallway, adding a few more things here, especially adding a picture because that's really all I can. It's a very narrow hallway, and I end up using some things that we got from the Book Nook kit, and then also I don't even know where that thing is from. So I ended up using the Book Nook kit and then going back down into the dining room that I said was a little difficult, adding some things there, and really just finalizing what this home looks like. I know I needed to add decorations everywhere, but really putting in place the final touches that really made me step back and be like, oh, this is the most perfect apartment. And I really hope you think so. But there is one thing that you will probably see in the screenshots that kind of shocked me, is that the ceiling in the back half of this apartment is actually like gray. And it's only because I couldn't change it, because there is another apartment on this lot that has the upstairs that is sitting right on top of that back part of this apartment. And so technically it's not this apartment, it's another apartment. And so I don't know why it looks like that, but it does. And it definitely affects what you see at the top of this apartment. But don't you worry about it, because the rest of this apartment looks stunning. And I'm just adding a few more things here because I noticed that everything by the TV kind of looked a little like we were missing some things. And so I had to use this thing that I got from Eco Lifestyle, and it worked perfectly. If you do want to download this, please feel free to do so. It's already up on the gallery now. It's under Linslow by Choice, as well as all my other socials on Twitter and TikTok. It is Linslow by Choice. I really hope you enjoyed building with me today. I had so much fun doing this, and I love being able to tell you all about it. We are coming right up on the screenshots in just a second, and I really hope you enjoy these, but also have a great rest of your day. I hope you continue to thrive and everything until I see you in the next video. Bye.